Hello YouTube, and welcome to tutorial number 53 in the Microsoft Visual Basic .NET Programming tutorials. And in this tutorial we're going to cover multi-threading. And what I'm not going to be talking about delegates in this tutorial because I'm going to be doing that most probably in the next tutorial. In this tutorial I just want to introduce the multi-threading as a concept, try and get you guys to understand it, how it works, because I don't want to get anyone confused. So I'm not going to show you how to make cross-thread calls with delegates in this tutorial and stuff like that. I'm just going to show you how multi-threading works, and yeah, so let's continue with the tutorial. Okay, so if you don't know what multi-threading is, then if you think about it like, well, say you have a piece of code and it makes a request with a forum, and that single piece of code is executed on a thread. Now, at one time, if you don't use multi-threading, only one piece of code can be executed at a time. So if you think about it like a railway, where there's a train being representing the code, and the railway represents the thread, and only one train can go on that railway at once. And so the first one goes, then the second one goes, then the third one goes. But what if you had more than one railway? And then trains could go at different times at the same time. One could start, the next one could start before the other one's finished. That's basically what multi-threading is. So if you got an application and you're executing some code and it's like quite a chunky bit of code, and then you'll notice that your user interface becomes unresponsive, that you can't click anything. That is because you are not using multi-threading. Alright, so in this tutorial, as I've said, we're going to just program some threads manually, and I'll just show you how to start the threads, and then that's just going to be this tutorial. And yeah, so let's continue. So create a new project and call it multi-threading, and I'm just going to give you an example of how UIs can become unresponsive when you're using a bit of code. So just put a button down there and put a label. And this way of explaining multi-threading, I found this on a blog because I was really confused. I didn't know how to explain it. I didn't want to make like a huge web request and make it all complicated for you guys. So this example, I don't know what the guy's name was, I forgot, but I found this on a blog, so credits to him, whoever he is. Sorry I didn't remember your name, but whatever. Okay, so what we're going to do is just count this label up from 0 to whatever number. I'll just pick a number, and you'll be able to see how your form becomes unresponsive because you can't do anything else when it's running. So if you put the text for the label to 0, and just double click the button, and what we need to do first is declare an integer. I'm going to declare I as an integer, and what we're going to do is create a sub. So private sub count up, and inside the sub all we're going to do is count up from 0 to 10,000 on the actual label. So do until I equals 10,000. Bit of a big number, just want to make it like so we've got enough time to see that it's unresponsive. And then what we're going to do is I equals I plus 1, and then label 1.text equals I. So what that's going to do is just we've got a do until loop here. It's going to execute this code until I equals 10,000. So this is going to be executed 10,000 times on the same thread. We're also going to add something else here. This is just going to say message box.show second piece of code. Okay, now the last thing we need to do is put this sub count up into this button here. So count up. You can also do call count up, but just put count up and that will call this sub. So if we debug this and button 1, oh I forgot, sorry, we won't be able to see the label unless we refresh it, so me.refresh, and now you'll see that is going up right there. Now if we click this, nothing happens because this railway, as I said before, or thread is already in use by this piece of code here, so we can't do anything. We have to wait. We're waiting, and there goes the message box right after that's finished. But what if we want to count this up in the background, we'll say, and then we want to do this message box at the same time as this is still counting up? Well, we can do this using multi-threading. So what we're going to need to do is we need to declare some new threads and new integers. So first of all, I'm going to declare a new integer, i2, as integer, because what we're going to do is create two of these counting up things right here, so we'll count up two at the same time. So we'll also add a new label and make this the value of 0 too. Okay, and let's go back to the code. So we've got our first integer and second integer. Now we need to create a new sub called sub count up 2, and this is going to be the same as this. So do until i2 equals 10,000, because we're using i2 now, and then we're going to do i2 equals i2 plus 1, and then label 2.text equals i2, and me.refresh, we can see the actual label property, the value property. So now we've got our second sub, we can go to button 2, which is here, and we'll put count up 2 in here. I'll just show you what happens now. So we've got two subs, we'll do this, and this, it's not working. Why is it not working? That's because we haven't got two threads running for each sub. So what we're going to need to do first of all is we're going to declare two new threads programmatically, whatever, get me words mixed up here. And what we're going to do to declare them is just declare, we're going to call the first one thread as system.threading.thread. Now that's all you need to do to declare a thread, and we'll declare another one, thread 2, as system.threading.thread. So now we have two threads declared up here, and we have our two integers and we have our two subs. But how do we use these threads? Well, for button 1 where it says count up, we're going to replace this with, we'll delete that right there, and what we're going to do is put this count up sub into this first thread. So what we need to do is say thread equals new system.threading.thread, and the way we assign a sub to a thread is we put in brackets address of, and then the first sub is count up. So what that's telling the that's telling the application, okay, this thread here is new system.threading.thread, and it's going to have the value of the address of count up, which is this sub. So this sub is now going to execute this thread is now going to execute the code inside this sub, and we can do the same for this one. Thread 2 equals new system.threading.thread, and in brackets address of, and count up 2. So now we have our two threads declared here and here, but that's not all we need to do. What we need to do is invoke, or start the thread here. So what we're going to do is thread.start, that's all you need to start it off, and then for button 2, thread2.start. So let's review what we've got here. We have two integers, I and I2, which are used in the subs. Then we've declared thread as a new thread and thread2 as a new thread, and then we've got here a sub called count up, which is going to count from 0 to 10,000 and then put the value of the integer on label 1. And we've got the same sub here, and then all we do is when we click button 1, we put the value of thread to the address of count up, and we put the value of thread 2 to the address of count up 2. Okay, so if we try this out now, you'll see that I'll just give you a little example of what happens. Why isn't it? Oh, there we go. Okay, so if we do this, we're instantly going to get an error saying cross-thread operation not valid. Control label 1 accessed from a thread other than the thread it was created on. Now you might be thinking, well, why is this happening? If I didn't have multi-threading, then this would work perfectly on the sub. Well, this happens because we're trying to make a cross-thread call, and we're not allowed to do that. With Visual-Basic.net, you can only modify the UI components that were made on the same thread. So if we do it without multi-threading, make a new button and make another sub, then it would work. But since we've created a new thread, we cannot modify that UI component. And there's a simple solution to this, which is what we're going to do now. But I'm probably going to get a lot of stick for this because everyone's like, oh, this isn't the proper way to code it. What if you do this, you've got an error, it won't work if you do in this instance. Well, this is just because I don't think people are going to be creating very sophisticated applications with this just yet. They're going to be just testing it out. So in the next tutorial, I'm going to introduce you to like delegates and invoking them and stuff. But in this tutorial, we're just going to use this simple solution, and all we do is me.check for legal cross thread calls equals false, and that's going to say okay, if we're trying to access a UI component on another thread, just don't check for it and allow it. So so if we debug this and we start this, you can see these both started, and we can do two things at once, and we can also close it. This is not unresponsive, we can move it around. So yeah, that's basically how to use multi-threading. That was just a little simple overview to try and introduce the concept to you guys, because it might be quite hard to grasp at first. And yeah, so that was just a little short tutorial. So anybody who wants to know what delegates are and how you can use them to make cross-thread calls, I'm going to make a tutorial on that next, but for now that's all it is. So thanks for watching the tutorial, and please subscribe. If you have any questions, leave a comment. If you have any questions, PM me as well, whatever. And please like the video, subscribe and stuff, because I'm getting quite a lot of subscribers now. I'm getting quite excited. It's starting to look big. So yeah. Oh, and also let me just check how much time I've got left. Yeah, I've got some time. The reason I've been inactive is because I've been working a lot on my RuneScape clan. So if anyone has a pure account on RuneScape and you want to join it, just PM me. It's pretty fun. We just go on PK trips and stuff. I've just been working on the site and stuff, and another thing is I now finally have my internet in my room. I'm sitting here in my room right now. The problem was that the modem was downstairs and I didn't want to use wireless because I don't want a wireless connection, I want it wired. So we had to get someone out to drill through the walls and shit and move the cable up to my room, but now it's all sorted. And the reason I wasn't making tutorials as frequently before is because my computer used to be downstairs in the main room, and because of that everyone was watching TV on my family and stuff, and I couldn't make tutorials then. So I had to wait until 4 AM to make them, and I was super tired when I was making them. I had to stay up all night just to make a tutorial for you guys. So yeah, that's why I was stuttering and stuff, but it's 3 PM right now. I'm making a tutorial at a decent time, and yeah, so more tutorials coming. Subscribe. If you want to join me RuneScape clan, just a bit of recruiting on my videos here, then just PM me and I'll tell you about it, whatever. So peace out. Yeah, peace.